Hello, this is a review of the Smith & Wesson Emergency Survival Kit. The kit includes a Smith & Wesson Model 500 Magnum, that is a .50 caliber revolver, and it comes in this very nice case, as you can see, very rugged for taking it out into the outback. I think this would be very good under the elements. It's waterproof. The reason I wanted to do this review is that I hadn't seen, I was interested in buying this product, and I hadn't seen any reviews on YouTube, which is where I look for as a source of a lot of reviews when I'm researching a product. So first of all, I'd like to talk about the purpose of this kit. This kit really is for defense against very, very large predatory animals, like grizzly bears. So let's talk about the cartridge a little bit. I want to compare the cartridge. This is a 45 ACP cartridge. It is 230 grain, and if you're familiar with 45 ACP, you know it's pretty big, a lot bigger than a 9mm, pretty fat, and it's a notorious man stopper. Now this is a 30-30 cartridge. You know, the one of the classic Western lever action rifle cartridges used in the Winchester 1894. That is the most popular hunting rifle of all time. Okay, now this is the cartridge fired by the Smith & Wesson 500. You can see right away that it is much larger in diameter. This is a full ½ inch diameter bullet. It's much larger in diameter than the 45, and clearly there's a lot of powder behind that bullet, much more so than the 30-30. 30-30, if you've ever fired that cartridge, it has quite a lot of kick to it, so you can imagine that, you know, and that's fired from a rifle. You can only imagine what kind of kick you might get from a handgun firing. This is I believe it's a 400 grain bullet. Again, I said this 45 ACP is 230 grain. That this bullet is almost twice as heavy as the 45 ACP. Let's take a look at the kit and its contents. There you go. As you can see, I'm going to turn on the light. Appropriately, the kit includes a book, Bear Attacks of the Century, how to avoid them, what to do if you can't. I imagine that if you can't avoid them, that's when this case, this emergency kit, comes into play. Now, there are a lot of other useful items included in the kit. I'm very curious to read this book. I just got this unit home, so I haven't had a chance to look through it yet. But the kit comes with 2 emergency space blankets to stay warm if you're stranded in the wilderness and in the cold. Oh, it also comes with a pretty serious extreme ops knife, as you can see. It's a pretty serious knife, pretty heavy duty. But I intend to keep these things, you know, in the case. I'm not actually going to utilize them in my survival kit. You have your flint for starting a fire. You have a signal mirror for signaling for help. You have an emergency whistle, also for signaling help, and possibly to try and scare off the bear, although I'm not sure if that's what you're supposed to do or not. I haven't read the book yet. You have a pretty high quality compass. You have some tinder, this is for use with the flint for starting a fire, and you have a saw. I don't know how well this saw would actually work, and I'm not going to try it out. I have a much better saw that I would rely upon, but of course the reason I bought this kit was for the centerpiece of the kit, and that is this baby right here. Smith & Wesson Model 500 Magnum. As you can see, it's pretty large size. This is the based on the X frame, Smith & Wesson X frame. Most of their 44 Magnums and their large 45 ACP revolvers are based on the N frame, which is a step down from this. This is pretty big. You can see I have about hands that are a little smaller than the average male, and still the grip fits me pretty comfortably. As you can see, it has a 5-round capacity, which if you're firing these rounds, you're probably not going to need more than a few, as long as you're able to place them reasonably accurately. You have a very short barrel on this thing. It is not ported. I was interested in this particular model because it is kind of a snub-nose version. They sell versions of this gun that have 6-inch barrels, 4-inch barrels, and that definitely helps with the recoil. I have not fired this gun yet, and so I cannot comment on what the recoil is like, and I imagine that it's going to be pretty significant. But again, this is something that you would use as a last resort. Grizzly bear is right on top of you, mountain lion is coming right at you. You have no choice but to pull this baby out, and if you're able to place your shot, this thing should do the job. Has very nice sights on it. You got a pretty traditional red ramp, but I really like the rear sights on it. Has a very nice action, and it comes with these safety orange Hogue recoil absorbing grips, which at first I wasn't sure how I felt about them, but I really like them because it kind of identifies the item as a safety tool, which it really is what it is, and I actually really quite like them. They're identical in every way to the Hogue grips that come on several other large frame Smith & Wesson revolvers. So I'll get back to you after I get this thing out to the range, and I will videotape some of the shots, and we'll see what it's like. I name all my guns, and this one usually I give them female names, and this one I thought was deserving of a male name. This is Thor. Just again for a size comparison, on the left that is a 12 gauge shotgun shell. This here is the Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum round. This is a 30-30 Winchester, 45 ACP, and a 9mm. And again, you can see that there's a significantly larger amount of powder behind the Smith & Wesson 500, and the size of the round is significantly larger in diameter and weight than the 45 ACP, which is pretty much universally recognized as a legendary man stopper.